It is the 3rd of September, and this day in Baptist history, our reading is To Win Africa for Christ. Our verse is from 1 Corinthians 16, verse 9. For a great door and effectual is opened unto me, and there are many adversaries. The young Baptist minister in Sudbury, Suffolk, England, Reverend William Bentley, rejoiced on October 30th, 1855, when God blessed his home with a son. He looked upon that gift of God as a potential preacher of the gospel. He was not to be disappointed. W. Holman Bentley, the oldest of 4 boys, would someday make a name for himself as a pioneer missionary to the Congo. The first training the lad received was given in the home, but when his father accepted a call to the pastorate in Loughton, Essex, Holman was sent to the Nonconformist Grammar School. While there, he passed the junior Cambridge examination in Latin, French, and mathematics. After 5 years in Loughton, Reverend William Bentley was employed by the British Baptists as secretary of the Baptist Building Fund, and of necessity he moved to London. However, the teenaged Holman was offered a position in a business firm, and for a number of years he labored in the business world. Even during those years, the Lord was moving in the heart of the young man, and an innate desire to serve the Lord in the Congo grew. When he was 17, Holman was reading daily from the Hebrew Psalter and the Greek New Testament. At age 19, Holman Bentley was baptized and united with the Downs Chapel Baptist at Clapton. The youthful church member became actively engaged in witnessing and tract distribution. His ultimate work in the Congo was merely an outgrowth of his personal witnessing for Christ at home. He once wrote, "It is not well to pray, 'Thy kingdom come,' unless we are willing to do the work to that end. We may not be able to go to the heathen abroad, but we are not thereby released from our obligation to the heathen at home." Holman applied to the Baptist Mission Society for service, and on January 15, 1879, Reverend H.E. Grunton, Crudginton, from Rawdon College was appointed. On February 20th, Holman Bentley was accepted along with Mr. J.S. Hartland. The group were to be ready to go by the end of April, and they would be working with Messrs. Grenfell and Reverend T.J. Comer. On Friday, April 25, 1879, Reverend and Mrs. T.J. Comer, Holman Bentley, H.E. Grunton, and J.S. Hartland sailed for the Congo. After the voyage of 6 weeks and 2 days, they arrived at Banana in the Congo on June 9th. Holman Bentley was a gifted linguist, and in about 6 months he had collected and arranged 1,000 words of a hitherto unwritten language. In time, the missionaries could communicate sufficiently to present the gospel. This, of course, was the very purpose of their being in the Congo. Surely only the gospel was sufficient to deal with the darkness, slavery, greed, family feuds, and polygamy that faced the missionaries on every side. After 5 difficult years of service, the missionary left the Congo in the spring of 1884 and sailed for home. Mr. Bentley was immediately called upon to speak, give interviews, write, and represent the cause of the work in the Congo. In fact, as so many missionaries in this day have discovered, the ceaseless demands of his furlough schedule began to wear on him. To a friend, he wrote that he felt very weary of this endless drive, and adding, "If it lasts much longer, I shall smash up. I've been so incessantly busy and anxiously lately with no rest at all that I am really worse for the change to England, and 2 days ago went down with fever." During his furlough, Mr. Bentley met and married the lady who would accompany him for the remainder of his lengthy ministry in the Congo. As Holman Bentley sailed for his second tour of duty, he was accompanied by his wife, along with 4 ordained workers, R.D. Darby, R.H.C. Graham, H.R. Phillips, and H. Schindler. They sailed from England on the 3rd of September, and another whirlwind term of service was invested. With several additional furloughs, the man of God served the Lord faithfully in the Congo until October of 1897. His total lifespan had been only 50 years, but he had accomplished great things for the glory of the Lord. He had completed a dictionary and grammar in the language of the people. The New Testament had been fully translated and put into the hands of the Congolese. He served longer in the Congo than any of those who had accompanied him in 1879. He saw over 1,200 baptized and a whole district of wild, barbarous people almost completely evangelized and civilized, if not Christianized. The greatest heartbreak that Holman Bentley experienced is the same age-old burden that modern-day missionaries endure. That concern is how to get others to respond to the need. In one of his letters home, Mr. Bentley wrote, and I quote, "If it were a gold mine we had discovered, it would be easy to find men willing to come." End of quote. In yet another note home he wrote, and I quote, "A Belgian officer told me the other day that he was selected out of 200 applicants. 200 applicants for a small post under the Belgian state, and not even 6 are ready to give themselves to the work of winning Africa for Christ." End of quote. May God speak to some today to respond to his call for service to the Lord. To God be the glory.